Okay, it looks like we are live, and let me, as usual, double check the audio to make sure everything is the way it needs to be. It's about 5 minutes before the official start time, and this is a part two broadcast here. Testing 1, 2, testing the audio. We'll see what we have. Okay, it looks like we sounds good. Sounds good. The audio sounds good. Our Wags is in the house. I'm at the office. I'm at the office, but in the house. So the home office. The home office. That's the way to do it. That's the way to rock and roll. And let me switch back to this camera, and let me see if I should add a little light on this side. Yeah, let's fill in like that. Fill in that light a little bit. So the sound is fine. Carlos is in the house, relaxing down in Panama. And this is a continuation. This is a part two on a broadcast that we did about a week or so ago. We did talk a little bit about Brianna. We talked about Bitcoin. And then we also talked about Rolex. And we also talked about some Grand Seikos, of course. And by the way, I cleaned this one up. Is that sparkling or what? How does that look? And you guys notice something interesting about this watch right now? You guys notice something interesting? Let's say how observant you are in the chat. Let me know what you should be noticing about this watch. And if you're very observant, let me know in the chat. And later we'll give a close-up. But I wanted you to see it. This is kind of like the distance that if somebody was looking at your watch, they'd be about this distance away. They wouldn't be like a lot closer, right? Unless they're a little bit strange. But anyway, let me know what you notice. Emergency broadcast. I'm at Bitcoin Control Center. So let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick here. And this is the pregame show. We got a few minutes before the official start time. And let's see here. It looks like Bitcoin is at 8,200. Let me refresh this just to make sure this is live. Yeah, 8,200. It pumped. It pumped a little bit. It was below 8,000 as we talked about yesterday, and I was telling people, hey, this might be an opportunity to buy, but I also said it could go substantially lower, and I still think it can. This could be a dead cat bounce, but I also said if I was a no-coiner, I would probably remedy that situation. If I was a no-coiner, I would probably remedy that situation. I would not want to look back 10 years. 10 years from now, I would not want to look back on today and say, damn, I should have probably gotten at least one Bitcoin. So there's how that works. Reinstalling clean Catalina Mac OS here. Well, there you go. All right. Looks like an aftermarket bracelet Strapco, maybe. No. You guys keep guessing. Keep guessing what is the thing that you should have noticed based on comments that people make in other forums and so forth about this particular watch. What should you have noticed? And we're going to have a continuation on yesterday's discussion of ugly watches, too. You know, really. Why should you buy an ugly watch? Because there was another ugly watch shared on Facebook that I made a comment on earlier today that, I just don't get it. Life is too short, in my opinion, to wear an ugly watch, and I buy my watches to wear. So, and I wouldn't even want one just laying around in a box somewhere, an ugly watch. That's not good either. Looks like okay. Hi, David Williams and Carlos. Reloomed. Reloomed. No, it's the original loom. Let's see here. Can you see this comment? Yes, I can, KK. I can see your comment. Did you have the watch polished? No, I cleaned it. I did clean it right before the show, and it's been a while since it's been cleaned, so that's one of the reasons why it's so blingy and so sparkly. Look at that. Hey, and guess what? Hey, don't tell anybody, but I used toothpaste. Toothpaste and an old toothbrush. What I do is I lightly brush it. I get the toothpaste on, and then I take my hands and I just kind of scrub it all around using like the leather of my hands to kind of scrub it all around the case and everything. And then I brush the inside of the bracelet, because that's where most of the, grunge is and all. I brush it with the brush, because I don't care if it gets little tiny scratches on the inside of the bracelet. I mean, come on. And then I rinse it all off and wipe it off with a microfiber cloth. Literally takes just a couple minutes. No ugly watch allowed on Chip's broadcast. Hold that GS Stunner diver closer to the camera. Okay, so we'll do that. we'll do that, but I wanted to see if anybody could guess from this distance. I'll do it one more time, showing you the whole watch, all the way around. Okay, and let's see if anybody can guess from this distance what is a little bit unusual right now about this watch. Okay, let's see. We'll give them a little bit of time, and then we're going to do a close-up. It's not the official start. Well, it is official. It's 5 o'clock and 53 seconds right now, so we're officially into the show. Are you just wearing it tighter than you usually do, in the house? You're close. You're getting warm. You are very, very warm on that comment. Very, very warm. Okay, let's go to another. Let's get off these ugly watches. This shows you one more time, these ugly watches. And then let's get off of this and see if I can find the one that I commented on today. I don't know if I can or not. Oh, I'm sorry. Clicked on the wrong thing here. Bunch of action in here. Trying to find that comment. A bunch of people reacting to my comment. It wasn't that important. It was just another ugly watch that was posted that I commented on. And, it's nothing personal. It's just trying to give guidance so that people realize that, maybe they might want to make a different choice and get an attractive watch. I'm just scrolling through here to see. And I will cut to the screen if I see what I'm talking about. Now here's some attractive watches. There's some attractive watches there. Again, I would go for yellow gold personally, but there's some gorgeous watches there. That second watch looks like it's a platinum date. Milgauss I wouldn't go for just because I don't want the thicker case because of the Faraday cage. I'd rather just have a Oyster Perpetual or a an Explorer, and just have the thinner case. Personally, let's see what else we got here. Now there's a nice watch. Hey, maybe Rolex can go back to an attractive looking case like that. See how nice those lugs look? See how they taper down more towards the bracelet? It's not rocket science, folks. It's a good-looking case. Much better than talking about a good-looking watch. Whoa, are you kidding me? Back up. That is cool. Look at that Oyster Perpetual. That is a cool all-arounder, folks. I'd love to have a watch, to tell you the truth. To be honest with you right now, I'd love to have a watch without a date these days, because I can't half read the date with my eyes as they are anyway. I almost never used the date on my watch, even previously when I had a date on the watch, even when my eyes were decent. So that's so clean looking. That's so clean looking. All right, let's go back to the comments here and see if anybody guessed what's going on with this watch. Okay. Is the stainless version? Do you have the watch? No, it's not stainless. This is the clasp is stainless, but the rest is titanium. Did you take out a bracelet link? No. Close. You're warm. You're very warm. No ugly watches allowed. Okay, we already read that. Brianna likes that watch. Yes, she does like that watch. I like today's Federico video about watches, higher level than sub and cheaper. Okay, I'll have to take a look at that. Are you just wearing it tighter than usually? Okay, I think I already read that. I'm sorry. Bezel. Okay, it's a replica. Resized bracelet. I'm confused. It's higher on the wrist than usual. Smooth bezel is meh. Okay. Feels more generic. Fluted bezels are. I like a Datejust with the fluted bezel personally. Yeah, but again, I kind of like not having the date too. So I don't know which trumps which. And also the Oyster bracelet is more sporty, right? But I do like the Jubilee. Let's see here. I have that exact Datejust 5513. Okay, whoops. No, don't have Jubilee. Jubilee is better choice. Of course it is. Jubilee and fluted, yes. For Datejust, yes. Okay, I'm going to give you a close-up, and then I'll tell you what you guys missed. All right? Here's the close-up. All right? See if I can get that in focus. I guess that's close. Turn it on around. Turn it around this way. You see what you missed? See, I've got the extension out a little bit. Because what happened was I took it in one notch on the micro adjustments because we had cool weather came in. It was very cool on Saturday. And so I took it in, which I do every fall when the cool weather comes. I took it in one micro adjustment tighter. And now today, it's gotten warm and humid again. So I've extended it a little bit. So I've got the extension out a little bit. And people on the forums are like, oh, it's so ugly when you extend it like this, because you can see the mechanism. You can see that it's extended, right? And they're like, oh my God, like that's the end of the world, right? So here it is. I turned it all the way around. I asked you guys if there was something strange or unusual or whatever, and nobody guessed it. So I guess it's not as big a deal as everybody makes it out to be, that the extension, that you can see the extension. I guess it's not as big a deal as people say. So this is why real life use of a watch matters. Okay? Yes, the diver extension is out a little bit. Now I can pull it in all the way. Now it's in all the way. And it's just a little snug. Right? It's one micro adjustment snug right now. I mean, I could wear it like this. As a matter of fact, sometimes I would wear it like this if I don't want it moving around. Okay, I would just push it back in like that. But the beauty of this clasp design is I can so quickly and easily just lift this up. Okay, bam, it's out just a hair. Just that easily. Right? Try doing that with a Rolex. Good luck with that. So I love this clasp. When I first got it, I was like, man, that's ugly. I hate that clasp, blah, blah, blah. Can I switch it with something else, blah, blah, blah. I was totally against this clasp. After I had it for a month of actual use, I was like, it's not so bad. Then after I had it another month, I'm like, this is kind of cool. Now, a year plus later, I'm like, my God, that clasp is the best thing ever invented for a watch. I mean, it's just fantastic. So really, you have to use these watches, folks, to really figure out what's going on with them. And I mean, how stunning does that look? People are like, oh, well, the bracelets are ugly and all that. I think it's freaking stunning. I mean, stunning. Can you say stunning? And by the way, I do want to thank you. Rolex link extension is better. No, I disagree. You can't extend the Rolex like I just did. You can't do it. KK says hardly noticeable. Is it as smooth as a Rolex extension? It has a little ratchet to it. Like when you let it out, it goes out pretty easily. And then you click it in one ratchet at a time. It's like click, click, click. So it's kind of ratcheted, and like it's a one-way ratchet, right? I can push it in without much force, but you can't pull it back the other way. Okay? It's one way. Unless you lift this up and pull this back, then that releases it to come out more. So it's really, the way it works, the way it functions is pretty ingenious. I actually added a link to my SBJ 229 last night because I felt like the watch was kind of sharp and pokey with the Extension let out a couple of clicks. Yeah, no, I would always size it. I would always size it so that you only have to use the extension for a small amount. You know, maybe 1 or 2 clicks is, I think, the better way to go. You should be able to size it close enough so that that's enough. And also, of course, make sure your clasp is centered on the bottom of your hand as much as possible. Let's see. Rolex is always better Wi-Fi. You just have to try one of these. It's not even a close call. And now I'm so spoiled with the accuracy that I don't think I could go back to Rolex. I mean, 2 seconds a day, are you kidding me? In 15 days, that's 30 seconds. I mean, I would be losing my mind, right? This one after a month is like spot on. It's like not even 1 second off, right? In a month. So, 5 months, it's like within 1 second. I mean, I would lose my mind with the Rolex lack of accuracy at this point. I'm totally spoiled. That's well designed, shouldn't wear out quickly. I mean, again, a year plus of heavy use, it's holding up fine. There's no durability issues at all. Congratulations, Craig, for getting the subscribers for Bree. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Let's show you where we were when we wrapped the broadcast yesterday. We were at 98, okay, so that's the screen without being refreshed. We were at 98 subs, so let's refresh and see what the total number is now, as of this moment. We're at 112, so we've got a nice cushion, and she's got to wait about 2 weeks. You can see her date here is she joined on the 21st, so it's got to be the 21st of this month. It's got to be 30 days before she can get a custom URL. So we got to wait 2 weeks, see if she can get her custom URL. I didn't know there was a 30-day wait. That's why we were going to try to do it live on yesterday's show, get the custom URL, but she went and she tried to do it, and she got gigged that they've got to wait 30 days. So that, in other words, the account has to be 30 days old and have 100 subscribers. And since we just created the account, a week or two ago, it was not 30 days old. There's another subscriber now. Haha. So, okay, we got 112. Let's see how many we've got now. No, it says 112. Sorry, still says 112. I love the power reserve on the spring drive too. It's totally awesome. I've been wearing the 229 almost every day. It's just a fun watch to have in the wrist, and you got to love that smooth second hand. It is mesmerizing. It is mesmerizing. But I still I would love to get you over to the 231. I think it would blow your mind after you got used to wearing it. I think you'd be like, oh my God, this is so comfortable. There's something about the titanium on the skin, not just the weight. There's something about the titanium. People say it's because it doesn't have the nickel in it or whatever. There's just something about it that it just feels better on the skin. Okay, so I do want to thank everybody. She's a pretty lady. Glad to see there's a new video out. I'll check it out tonight. She had 2 more videos on, but I told her to take the one down because the lighting was not good on that one we shot at Adventure Park. It was just not good. So we're going to work on something else to get up there. Hopefully this evening. We'll try to get another video up on there. Stay tuned. Just make sure you subscribe and click the little bell. And there's going to be a good amount of content coming. Also, do follow her on Instagram because she's more active on Instagram right now than on the YouTube channel, but more content's going to be coming on the YouTube channel. We're going to be working on some more content. So stay tuned. We're going to try to do quality over quantity on her channel. This channel, it's all about quantity and lack of quality. We're the opposite on this channel. Her channel, we're going to try to put out some quality content. We'll see what we can do. But thank you very much for everybody for all the help. And let's bring up a photo of Bree. The lovely Brianna. BreeFitDance.com. That's where you go if you want to find out all her social media links, go to briefitdance.com. We got links to her YouTube, her Instagram, everything. And let's show you a couple of pictures here. See what we can do. There we go. And there's one. She is a healthy young lady. Healthy young lady. There's another branded. I put that up on the Facebook page with that branding across it. And there she is, 100% natural. No, I did not Photoshop. I did not enhance those curves. I did not use a liquify tool or anything like that. That's just totally out of camera. Now, I did soften the skin a little bit on the face, but all the attributes there are 100% natural Brianna. So that's how that works. Let's see. I'm sure Bark and Jack could give tips on buying subscribers. Yeah, we're not going to buy any subscribers. We're going to build her whole network, grassroots, the old-fashioned way. That's how I built mine. I didn't buy any subscribers. I got a lot of subscribers when I was putting videos of Audrey up. I'll admit that. Audrey helped me a lot on building my subscriber base. Probably half of my subscribers are because of Audrey, and probably 25% are watch related, and then the other 25% are business related, with Frederick.com and all the stuff I do for businesses. So that's kind of the breakdown on my channel. Seiko is more accurate due to its not 100% mechanical, but Rolex durability and quality and material workmanship is superior. No. The spring drive, by all accounts, is more durable than a typical manual movement because it has no escapement. The escapement mechanism, that back and forth, that is a weak point on a lot of watches and a potential for problems. And since the spring drive doesn't have that, it's actually more robust than a typical mechanical movement. So you might want to educate yourself and learn. There is, I believe I put a link in the chat. If not, I have a page on my website, CraigShipp.com. Just pull down the menu and click on Grand Seiko. I've got a page that has all the facts on that, and you'll be able to educate yourself so that you won't make stupid comments like that in the future. Let's see, Craig spotted a new Yachtmaster all steel with blue dial at Turno Pentagon City Mall. It's on display by itself in the wall behind the large empty display case. Was it for sale, Ray? Was it actually for sale? Because that's a beautiful watch. If it was the new one, doesn't the new one have the 70-hour power reserve? I wonder if that's the newest one with the new movement. Because that would be, I would recommend that watch. Again, if you can put up with the lack of accuracy compared to the spring drive. That would be the only downside there. Otherwise, and the polished center links. Some people don't like the polished center links. But I think I could live with the polished center links for that watch because it's nice and trim. I think it's 11.7 mils thick. It's just a fantastic watch. Nice case on that. Doesn't have the ugly super case. It's like that quote from Sansa Lam. It puts the titanium on its skin or else it gets the hose again. There you go. Absolutely. And the other thing about the spring drive is, like, I explained this the other day when I was talking to Brianna and she was, I think I had my arm on the table or something, and she was looking at the watch and she saw the second hand just smoothing around like that, right? And it just started hypnotizing her, and one thing led to another, and she couldn't keep her hands off me, and it was a little bit embarrassing. But that's the effect that this watch has on women. So be careful, guys, especially those of you that might be married. If you get around an extremely attractive woman, someone that looks a little bit like that, you get around her and she sees that watch, it might be a problem. It could actually cause problems in your in your marriage. So that's a warning. That's fair warning. Let's see, they also had pre-owned GMT Pepsi and Coke from the late 90s, 2 Milgauss, black and green crystal, Black Explorer 2, 40 mil. Well, that's interesting that they had was the Black Explorer 2, was that new? The face softening is a bit too noticeable on the bikini photo. Well, yeah, it is what it is. Everybody has their own. Everybody has their own opinion on that. Audrey was a goddess. Yes, Audrey's fantastic. She's gorgeous. And actually, that's how I met Brianna, is she came to me through, she had watched some of those videos. And then I was at the Frederick County Fair shooting photos and so forth. And I ran into Brianna and her mom and her brother. And I had no idea who she was, right? And I always offer to take photos, and so I offered to take their photo, and so I took a nice photo of them, and I gave them my card, which is I always do, and I said, you'll be able to download the photo from my Flickr if you'd like it. Feel free to take it and use it for whatever you'd like. And so she did that, and then she started following me on Instagram and everything, and she said, oh, she says, you're the one that worked with Audrey and so on and so forth. And one thing led to another. And so now Brianna and I are working together. So just that's how that works. When you're out and about in motion, making things happen, that's what goes on. So what watch might you possibly be getting, Bree, at the event, Craig? Yes. No. Oh, I have news on that, Durr. It's possible that Brianna will not be at the event. So I was a little bit disappointed today. Steve, I don't think she's going to be broadcasting tomorrow. That we had tentatively planned for her to do a live broadcast from Little Treasury tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. And she might not be at the event, which is very disappointing. Very disappointing. I'm not happy about that. As a matter of fact, I was tempted to tell Steve that I was not coming to the event either, and I may not. But I probably will not do that just because I have... I did say that I would go on Friday, and I've told some of the viewers here that I would go on Friday. But if it wasn't for that, for the fact that I've kind of promised, I would pull out of going to the event, and I'm tempted to pull out and not go to the event in New York. I'm not a happy camper that Steve did that, but it's his store. He makes his decisions, and that's the way that is, and we have to live with it. So. I'm not happy about that. And I don't mind talking about it here because I'm just not a happy camper. So, the older Explorer model. Okay, gotcha. All right, so let's go here and look and just kind of review. Oh, this was some ugly watches we were looking at yesterday. Everybody says, "Oh, that Patek's not ugly." Yeah, I would pass on all those. I would get something attractive. I wouldn't buy something with a integral case and pay a whole lot of money for it. Are you kidding me? An integral case? No, I'm not going that direction. And with exposed screws around, yeah, that's cool. No, that's not cool. So, ugly watch alert on that. Oh, you guys mentioned Audrey. There's the picture we showed yesterday of Audrey, the lovely Audrey Scherer. And hopefully she'll be making some more videos. I'm talking to her. I'm trying to talk her into it. She just doesn't want to deal with the trolls. And I can understand that. The trolls are nasty. And here is, we showed Brianna's website yesterday. I'm just going through some tabs here and closing some tabs. This is briefitdance.com. If you go to briefitdance.com, it's basically a landing page on my website temporarily until we build a full-blown website, but that's briefitdance.com. And if you go there, there's that slideshow, and then if you scroll down just a hair, there are links, and I added, let me refresh this because I added links to a couple more of her. See, I added a big link to her Twitter and one to Facebook. And then, of course, we've got all the social media links here. And then we've got some videos in here, including the bikini video that seems to be popular. And then we got the feed of her Twitter feed down at the bottom there. So just a nice little landing page with links to her social media. So there you go. And I'm going to predict it right here, right now, that if she works hard for a year or two at this, I'm going to predict that she's going to be doing really well. If she doesn't quit and give up, like some people do, I think that she will do well. Okay, so what event in New York? I don't think I can talk specifics about it. It's a special event that Steve was invited to by Grand Seiko, and they asked for me to come also, and so I agreed to go. And I can tell you right now that I'm going to go in there, and I may not go. They may pull, after I say what I'm going to say right now, they might pull the invitation. I don't give a rat's rear end if they pull the invitation. But I may go in there with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, because I feel like they are giving very little support for the efforts that Steve has been doing to promote the brand. I feel that Steve, and by extension, some of the videos that I've done for Steve at the events and some of the review videos that I've done and so forth, that they have helped sell a lot of watches. I have documented proof that they have helped sell a lot of watches, and I'm talking hundreds or thousands of watches. I'm talking a lot of freaking watches, okay? And benefited a bunch of other dealers in the country, and yet Steve is doing the lion's share of the work to help put all this together. And they're all benefiting from it. Grand Seiko's benefiting from it, and all these other dealers around the world, not just in the U.S., around the world are benefiting from it. And yet Grand Seiko isn't doing anything to really help at all. You know, so I think that they could step up to the plate a little bit and get involved a little bit more and help. I've asked for them to come in and join the show, Skype into the show, and show some stuff. And you know, I've invited them to participate. Crickets. I hear nothing. I hear crickets, right? And I mean, you know, it's just not right. It's not right for us to do the heavy lifting and for them to just sit back and benefit from it. So I'm going to have them. I'm going to be polite, but I'm going to give them a little piece of my mind up there. So we'll see. This could be very interesting. This could be very interesting, to say the least. So, and I've said before publicly that they're clueless when it comes to marketing. Absolutely clueless in marketing and branding. And this is a perfect example. I mean, why wouldn't they Skype in and join this show and show some interesting stuff, right? What's so hard about that? If Carlos can Skype in from Panama, they can Skype in from New Jersey or wherever the heck they are. So we'll see how all that works. Let's see. It's going to be a blast, Craig. We'll all have a blast. When is the event in New York? Let me pull up my calendar here. I'll tell you when it is. So I think it's the day before. Yeah, it's the 17th. It's the day before. So we're going up on the train the morning of the 17th. We're going up to the event, and then we're coming back that same day, late that afternoon. We're coming back, and then the Little Treasure event is on Friday. So that's Thursday, 17th, and then the Little Treasure event is on Friday. So that's how that works. And the event has something to do with the Four Seasons watches. I don't have all the details on it, but it kind of has to do with that. Hooping Live versus Cowgirls Live versus Jumping Boxes Live. Who would win in a three-way arm wrestling competition? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Sarah, she may be a small girl, a very petite girl, but she is strong as an ox. I mean, she's a real cowgirl. So I would not bet against her, against anybody, against Audrey, and they're all petite. They're all very petite. But I mean, I wouldn't bet against Sarah if she was arm wrestling anybody in the chat here. You know, she's a strong girl. So yeah, Sarah would be, would be the one you would not bet against. I don't give a such rear end. I'll be in New York for watch time the weekend after the Little Treasure event. Okay, cool. Well, when you say the weekend after, are you talking about a week later? Because the Little Treasure event is on Friday and Saturday. Are you talking about you're going up that weekend or the following weekend? Let us know what you mean by that. I'm trying to think what else. What else can we talk about? Let me give you a close-up of this watch. Let me take it off wrist and give you a close-up because this is a rare opportunity to see it clean. And by the way, I did have a subscriber ask me if I would sell this watch. And I would probably sell it to a subscriber. I would probably do that. Push come to shove, especially now that it's winter and I can... So I get that in focus, and I can wear the 005. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Pretty freaking amazing watch. You're telling me a sub can hold a candle to that? Look at that watch. Okay, let's look at the signed crown. See if I can get it in focus. How cool is that? How freaking gorgeous is that watch? Don't tell me a sub can hold a freaking candle to that watch. Ain't gonna happen, folks. You're living in la-la land if you think that. And look how easy it goes on and off the wrist and how comfortable it is. The flexibility in this bracelet. People are like, well, you gotta have screws. I don't like the pins and collars. You gotta have screws. The pins and collars are what allow it to float. That pin and collar, the way it works, for those of you who have no clue, is the pin is pressed into that collar. It's force fit, pressured fit into it. And the collar and the pin and everything can freewheel. It can all rotate. Okay, so take this off again. So the pin that goes through the center link, all right, it not only floats in the center link, but even on the outer links, it's not affixed anywhere. Whereas a screw would be screwed into the outer link, and the screw is stationary. And so when the links flex, they bind against that screw because the screw is stationary, and they cause wear, and that's what causes the bracelet stretch, a lot of it, right? This is a much better design, which gives much more flexibility and is going to have less wear and tear over time. And guess what? Even if one of those pins or collars gets damaged somehow, they're very easy to replace. Whereas a screw, if the threads get stripped or something, or the head of the screw it's a pain in the neck. Okay? So even though a lot of the watch pundits say, oh no, you got to have screws, even Tim, talks about, oh, it's a high-end watch, it has screws. No, pins are better. They're a better solution. So there's that. Let's see. I'll be in New York for Watch Time the weekend after the Little Treasure event. Okay. You should go to the Watch Time, Craig, the weekend after the Little Treasure event. GS and 36 other brands will be there for 2 days. Heard Bill Sanders got in free on a press because of his YouTube show. I just don't have the time right now. If I retire from what I'm doing, from the work I'm doing, I could do more things like that, but I have to be around and do my real work. That's how I earn a living. I don't earn a living on this YouTube channel, I can tell you that right now. So that's unfortunate. I have to kind of work. Are you going to sell the Titan chip? I would sell this if a subscriber wanted to buy it. I would sell it. I'll always sell anything. And I don't mind saying I paid $5,000 cash for this watch, and I would sell it for $5,000 cash. No profit, no loss, and they would get the most accurate 231 on the freaking planet. I can tell you right now, there's no 231 that is more accurate than this one. I got lucky. I got a really good one. Yes, a sub can hold a candle. No, it can't. I've seen this in person, and compared to my sub, no comparison in terms of quality, appearance. Yeah, you're in La La Land, Oakley World. You're living in the dream world. There's no comparison. The quality of the Grand Seiko is significantly better than the Rolex. It's not even a close call. Adding a link to my 229 with the pin and collar was a pain in the ass last night, LOL. Yeah, you have to have the right tools. You have to know what you're doing. It is not easy. But here's the thing, Dur. Once you get it adjusted right, you shouldn't have to mess with it again, like for the rest of your life. The only time I adjust this is in the fall and in the spring, and that's using one of the 4 micro adjustments. That's why you have 4 micro adjustments there. You shouldn't have to mess with a link. Once you get it centered right and you get it adjusted right, then you should be good to go. You should have enough adjustment in the micro adjustments to do your seasonal adjusting. And so that's why you shouldn't have to mess with the pin and collar once everything is sized up right. It should have been sized up correctly at the AD. You shouldn't have had to screw with it at all. That was a great explanation. Now I realize why my hollow linked watches have become more jangly over time. Turn the bezel, then turn a sub bezel. This bezel's fantastic. The action on it is fantastic. See, you're listening to the watch pundits, and they brainwashed you into these ridiculous, opinions that are you're just totally in left field. But hey, stay with your sub. I mean, the one advantage the sub does have is it's a smaller watch and it's a thinner watch. So if you want to push the watch into a year-round situation, wearing with a dress shirt, right, shirt cuff, you cannot do that. This will not fit under most shirt cuffs. At least I think it looks ridiculous to have a big watch underneath a shirt cuff. I think a sub is pushing it too. I think I would not want to wear anything bigger than a sub. But a sub, you could do that. You arguably could use it as an all-arounder, one and done watch and wear it with a shirt cuff, because it's only about, I think it's about 12.5 mils thick. So it's right at that limit. I'd rather have 12 mils thick or thinner. So the sub is at, I think, at 12.5 mils. It's right at that limit. But you could theoretically do it. No. This is 14 mils thick, and it's a 44 mil, 43 or 44, I think it's 43 mils, the watch. But in any event, it's too big to use really as a dress watch, in my opinion. So that's really the only edge that the Rolex has over this, is the size. And I like the size of this because my eyes aren't that great, and so I can read it without my reading glasses on. So for me, for a sport watch, this is a good solution. Everybody's solution is going to be different from the standpoint of what size watch they want to wear, depending on the size of their wrist and whether or not they wear shirt cuffs and all that. So, so all these watches are a compromise. Every single one of them. We've discussed this on the channel many times. There's no perfect watch out there. If there is, please let me know what it is. Because every watch I know of has some kind of an issue. Even the Yachtmaster we talked about earlier, which is a fantastic watch, has the polished center links, which I'm not a big fan of. So every single one of them has something that is an issue. Seiko, for sure, is entering Rolex territory in their condescending, I guess you mean condescending air towards buyers and owners. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if that's really happening, but I mean, I know that from an AD standpoint, I know Steve treats his customers extraordinarily well. So if that's what you're talking about, no, I don't think that applies to Steve, for example, as an AD. He's a Grand Seiko AD. You're going to get great treatment from him. Joey in the house, I owned an old Rolex sub, and the ceramic sub, and my GS231 is far superior fit and finish and accuracy is awesome. Maybe Rolex bezel might look nicer. Yeah, that's comes down to really what you like. I kind of like this style of bezel. I find this to be more readable. And also, I like the numbers all the way around. I like the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I just like having those numbers so that I can quickly see, and it's 51 minutes or whatever. It's helpful to me. And the fact that this is, I guess it's aluminum with lacquer on it or whatever. I don't know. It's made like the older style Rolex bezels. I mean, it's held up fine. And I never had any problem with those older bezels on my Rolexes. See? I mean, it's held up fine. I mean, and the watch is, over a year old, and I don't baby it at all, so I have no reason to believe that 10 years from now it won't still look pretty good. But again, I wear my watches to actually use them and wear them, and if they get beat around a little bit, I mean, that's just the way it is. You should see my cameras, how beat around they are. I don't do it on purpose. I'm not trying to abuse this gear, but I'm out and about and I'm at events and people bump into you, and you're trying to shoot through a fence, and just things happen, right? Especially when you're in crowds. I've got the two cameras on either side in the spider holster, so they're kind of like sticking out a little bit on the side, so people bump into you, and just things happen. We're not in controlled environments all the time. Let's see here. The 40 millimeter Sea Dweller 16600 is much better proper dive watch than any Submariner, but the herd only wants sub because, yeah, but see, most of us are not buying these watches to use as dive watches. The only reason I bought a dive watch is for the legibility and the durability, and of course I want waterproof, right, for going in the pool and all that, but I'm not diving with it. And I think most real divers are using dedicated devices for timing their dives and so forth. I don't think they're using a Submariner or any kind of a dive watch these days. So I think that's kind of a moot issue. I think we're mainly buying these watches because we like the look of them, we like the legibility. At least this goes for me. And I would go for a GMT. I mean, if they made a GMT that was similar to this, it would be a little thinner, right? Maybe it's just 100 meter water resistant, right? That would be nice. Now here's the one with the 9F movement that I have. That's a GMT. But again, every watch is a compromise. I don't like that style of hands because they're not thick and bulky enough for legibility without my reading glasses. I like hands more like this, big, fat, with heavy lume on them. So it wouldn't break my heart if they made something like that with the indices in the hands more like a diver's watch, if you will. Almost like the Rolex Explorer type of a situation. So I'm all about practicality and actually using these watches, so I might be an outlier. Let's see. The super case subs aren't smaller than the Titan. Yeah, they are. They're significantly smaller. It's a 40 mil case. Just because the lugs are fat and ugly doesn't mean it's more than a 40 mil case. It's still a 40 mil case. And the Titan is, I think, 43 mils. Now, this fits and looks probably better on the wrist than a super case because the super case has those ugly lugs, right? These lugs taper down nicely, and because it's got a 22 mil bracelet, it all looks better. It's all better proportioned and just looks a lot better. But they just screwed up the case on the sub. Hopefully they'll fix it with the next version. That was a total fail from a design standpoint. Question the Rolex Day-Date, which is better, single quickset or double quickset? One is beefier case and one is polished case lugs and one is brush. The 6-digit Day-Date has the polished, and they're all double quickset. Anything from the 18238 forward are all double quickset as far as I know. So the 18238 is the one I had. Now, if you go back to an 1803, then yeah, I mean, at some point you had the single quickset, I guess, and then I had the 1803, and it wasn't that much of a pain in the neck to set it. It really wasn't. And I think the 1803 might be a little bit thinner than the 18238. I'm going by my memory now. And the 6-digit might be a little bit thicker than the 18238. I know they varied a little bit over the years as they changed the models. Maybe somebody can research and give us the actual numbers on the thickness of those different watches. But I would definitely I think in this day and age, I would definitely want a Day-Date with at least a sapphire crystal, a factory sapphire crystal. I don't think I'd want to go far enough back to where it has the plastic crystal. So there's that. Let's see. Most people don't buy Lamborghini for track racing. Exactly. And I wouldn't buy a Lamborghini, period. I don't want those kind of headaches. But that's just me. If I was going to buy a sports car or something, I'd probably buy a 911. Not a lot more reliable. Let's see. Most of these modern Rolex investors take their watches off when they was their hands. So 100 meter water resistance is more than when they wash their hands, I guess is what you meant to say. Yeah. Jeez. I have around 300 recreational dives, and I think that I have never seen anybody wearing a luxury watch while he was diving. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Even as a desk diver, it's a much higher spec watch. Why would you buy something with, specs that you don't need? Like, for example, if a watch says it can go 4,000 feet and it's going to be thicker and heavier and all that, I mean, I don't need that. You know, it's just like if you're buying an electric car, okay, like a Tesla, and they have different battery options. And people are like, well, I want the one with the biggest battery, right? I want one that'll go 400 miles. And let's say you almost never drive that far. Well, you're carrying around all that extra weight and all that extra battery all the time when you don't even need that range most of the time. So let's say you could buy one with a 260-mile range that's a lot lighter weight and costs a lot less money, and 99% of the time that's plenty of range for you. And the 1% of the time when you need more range, just plan and stop at a charging station and top it off and have a cup of coffee or something. I mean, it's just people don't think these things through. They just make stupid decisions. It's just like this guy that was at Steve's watch event, and he had like a deep sea on or whatever, the big, thick, huge, Rolex dive watch. And he was a little guy. I mean, he had a tiny wrist, right? Little guy. And it looked freaking ridiculous. Let me see if I can pull up the picture. I took a picture. And he was so proud. He was so proud of this watch. I mean, and it just looked absolutely ridiculous. And I know it was uncomfortable as can be. Give me a second here. I'm going to try to bring this up because it was hilarious. And I'm like, do these people just not think these things through? Is that the issue here? Let's see if I can pull it up. Deep sea. I think I may have tagged it. Maybe I did, or maybe I didn't. Oh no, it looks like I didn't tag it. Let me try it this way. I should have tagged it. Lazy Craig. All right, Little Treasury all. All right, let me just look through here real quick, because this is definitely worth seeing. See, I'm not making up these stories, folks. These stories are real. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. See if I can find the picture of this guy. Here it is. Here it is. You think I was funning you, right? Think I was funning you guys. I wasn't funning you guys. I was not funning you. There it is. All right, now you tell me, you make the argument that looks good on his wrist and that makes sense for him to wear that watch all the time. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, okay? And let's see if we can zoom in on it. Let's see if we can zoom in. All right, now that's as much as it'll let me zoom in there. All right, so there it is. I think it looks way too high and thick on his wrist. I think it is using up too much of the top of his wrist. It's just totally dominating his wrist. And it can't be comfortable to wear that watch all the time like that. It just can't. I mean, people say, well, to each their own, but no. No. He should have at least just gotten a regular sub. But of course, I don't like the super case either. So, but still, it would be a lot better solution to just get a sub. His wrist is not that big. Let's see. Next to the two GS pieces you have, what is your third favorite GS, Craig? Not counting your previous gold stunner. I would probably get a titanium GMT. Let's see if we can figure out what model that would be. Titanium Grand Seiko. And we add GMT and see what we get. See if we can pull it up here. And I don't want the one with the chronograph. I don't want that. Here's a high beat one. I would want the, I wonder if they may not even make it anymore. I think they made one with a spring drive. See, this is the problem, is the websites are terrible for these brands. I mean, Rolex isn't that much better. And so let's see if I can find it here. I'll cut to it if I can find it. I'm going through the models here. There's something interesting. This SBGE 248, I wonder if that's titanium. 11,500. Let's see what that says about this. That is freaking gorgeous. I wonder if it's titanium. I like that. Let's see what it says about that puppy. Oh, stainless with 18 karat gold bezel. Yeah, so it's stainless. So no, it's not titanium. So yeah, that would be, I would not go for that. I mean, it's a gorgeous watch, but no, I would not go for that. Let's see what else we can find here. I want titanium. Hunting on the hunt for titanium. Now we're into ladies' watches and stuff. See, this is how hard it is. You know, I mean, it should be pretty simple for me to find a freaking titanium GMT. There's the 229. There's the 231. Beauty. $7,100 list. And there's the titanium GMT with the chronograph and all that. That's a cool watch, and I almost bid on it. There was one on eBay for a long time, and I almost bid on it, but I'm just not a chronograph guy. But if I was, I mean, that's a super, super freaking cool watch. It's just freaking amazing. And that sucker's titanium. Are you kidding me? Spring drive. I would buy that in a heartbeat over a Daytona. But again, I'm not a chronograph guy, so I'll pass on that. We're trying to go back here. Now we got to go back through all these. Give me a second here. I'm going to try to find. I'm trying to answer the question. I'm trying to do the best I can here, folks. But we got to go back through all these. Where's the GMT that I'm talking about? Maybe it's coming up here. See, this is where, again, where Grand Seiko has a real downfall. They don't need this many models. They need to pare down their models and get a core, just like Rolex, have a core line of watches so that we know what in the hell we're talking about, and so that we could answer a question like this very easily, right? I can't answer the question, and look, I couldn't find it. So maybe they don't make it anymore. They used to make a GMT spring drive titanium. Maybe they don't anymore. Okay. Let's see. It's the same size as a sub. I'm not talking about the deep sea. So why buy a GS when a Citizen Eco Drive will do the same job with some accuracy for $300? I like wearing high quality watches. I mean, if I was in the $300 budget range, there's a lot of watches I could buy, but I like wearing high quality, high end watches. It's just, I've been that way for 40 years. I've always worn very nice watches, so it's just what I do. Let's see. I'm a little guy and I have a deep sea dweller, James Cameron, haha, but my wrist is just a little smaller than 7.5 inches. Well, 7.5 inches is a good sized wrist. I mean, that's not a small wrist at all. So that would probably work. But again, I wouldn't wear that watch every day under any circumstances. It's just pushing the envelope there. I'd have no reason to do that. I have guys wearing the Invicta. Some are 53 millimeter quartz. They look ridiculous. Absolutely, they look ridiculous. I'm going to wrap up these comments and I'm going to go eat something. I really like the manual wind GSs on the leather straps that Steve showed us in the past. They have amazing. Oh yeah, some of those watches that are like 10 mils thick, those dress watches they came out with are really gorgeous. So the game that they're playing is like I guess they don't want people to know all the models that they have. They keep coming out with these limited editions, and all this stuff, and I guess they want to keep people confused and just keep people buying these limited edition watches and so forth. And I just don't get it. I mean, I would much rather have a well-defined product line. Like you have a Rolex Datejust. You know what a freaking Datejust is, right? And they've made it for years. I think that's fantastic. I think that's a very good idea. I think making the date 8 for years and have minor changes over the years, just slowly improving it. I think that's fantastic. I don't think it's rocket science, and I think that's what Grand Seiko should do. But they're not. They wouldn't listen to me. I mean, they could give a rat's rear end about what I say. So that's how that works. Let's see here. I like the guy's wife bought him that watch, so he's smart by wearing it. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, but he probably told her what he wanted, She probably didn't pull it out of thin air. So I think he was, he was wishing for a bridge too far. I think he should have pulled in his sights a little bit, and he should have said, I'd love to have a 36 mil Datejust. That would look a lot better on his wrist. Or a 36 mil date 8 would have been even better. That would have been a really classy looking watch. Let's see here. What else we got going on? I meant ivory colored dollar, by the way, not a real ivory dollar. Okay. SBGC 231 is titanium. It's near the top. SBGC 231. Is it? Yeah, but was it? I think it was, Joey. I think it was High Beat. I want the spring drive. I think it was High Beat. Let me go here, see if I can find it. Joey. SBGC 231. Where is it? Thought I saw that, and I think it's a High Beat. I think it's got to be an SBGA to be spring drive. I can't find it now. Let me do a separate search. See, they don't even have a search here. Oh, here's a search. Okay, let me see if I can find it. So you say it's an SBGC. SBGC 231, and it's not coming up. Jeez. I'm on their freaking website searching it, and it's not coming up. Oh boy, this pisses me off. Let's see here. Spring drive, GMT. Okay, here's one. Here's a Watchbox reviews on it. Let's see what we got here.
Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it, and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com.
And today so see, I didn't want the chronograph, and I don't like that case anyway on that watch. So yeah, no, that would be a no-fly zone. BGC 231. Yeah, that's what that is. That's what Tim is showing there. So, no, I would rather have. I like the hands on that and everything. I like, but I don't like that case shape. I like the more rounded case, like the one I have here. So I'm real picky. Rolex 18038 or 18238, which would you choose? Again, there are pluses and minuses to both. The 1803, you have to go through a little bit more of a procedure to set the date. A little bit trickier, but that's not that big a deal. I think it's thinner. I would like to see the actual data on that. But hopefully you can buy a later model 1803 that has a sapphire crystal. So find out when they started putting the sapphire crystal on them. I don't know if you have to buy an 18238 to get that. That'd be a good question. I would want the sapphire crystal. So that would be my deciding factor between the two, is if I could get an 1803 in really good condition with a sapphire crystal, and I could get it with a conventional clasp bracelet. I have a affinity for the conventional clasp on a date 8. I had my first 1803, had the conventional clasp. Let me see if I can pull that up, that picture. I just like that. I like having the micro adjustments. So give me a second here and see if I can find this picture of me wearing that one. I don't know. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if we can see it in this picture or not. I'm going to go to the original size and zoom in as much as I can. Then I'll cut to this if we can see the clasp. I don't know if we can or not. Oh yeah, you can see the clasp. Okay, so there I'm zoomed in on that picture. I have very few pictures of that watch. This was back in the film days, and I was usually behind the camera. But there's the clasp. You can barely see the President bracelet there, and the conventional clasp. See the smooth part? So, yeah. So there I am, partaking of probably some pate, and we're having a little tailgate party at the Polo Club there, and that's the limo, the trunk of the limo there, that we're picnicking out of. And of course I'm wearing a Madras sport coat. Yours truly, that's early 1980s, probably about 1982, 83ish, somewhere in there, maybe 84, somewhere in there. So that's what I like. I like a conventional clasp on that 1803. It's spring drive. Okay. But again, the one we just looked at had the chronograph function, so I wanted a GMT without the chronograph. And I think they made one. There's no question GS makes a great watch, but until they dump the word Seiko, maker of $2 calculators, they will struggle to be regarded as a prestige watch. And I don't know that they really care that much, because they're pretty much making them at capacity right now, because they have very limited production capability because of all the handwork that goes into them. So I think they're fat and happy right now. I think they're selling pretty much what they can make, and they're going a little more upscale. You notice they've been raising the prices significantly. They've been bringing out some really expensive models, and they seem to be selling. So I think they're happy with the situation. Craig, what do you think of the Chopard Alpine Eagle? I'm sorry, Cheetown, but I just don't know anything about it. I hate to comment about things that I know nothing about. It's like Kia making luxury cars now. Well, if you think about it, Lexus has done well, and I don't think it's just because of the name. I think it's because it's a very high quality car, and people know it and people buy it. And I think people that buy Grand Seiko, they buy them because they know they're a very good watch, and they don't really care that the vast majority of the people out there have no clue about what they are or whatever. Matter of fact, some of them might like them because of that, because other people don't know. Speaking of things that people don't know, let's check one more time on the Bitcoin price, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. So it looks like we're at 82.30. 82.28 just dropped a little bit. 82.28 on the Bitcoin price. So again, thanks everybody. And if you do want to go to Brianna's website and webpage I put up for briefitdance.com, briefitdance.com, and you can go ahead and click through their social media links below these photos. There's links to her YouTube channel. There's links to her Instagram. There's links to everything. And go ahead and take a look and follow her. She's a nice young lady, and I think she's going to be entertaining and informative. That's what you have on this channel, is interesting information. Hey, get yourself a titanium Apple credit card. They're free. Real strong titanium. Did I say they're free? I'll probably never use it, right? But it's kind of cool to have it. I just have it sitting here at my workstation. So thanks again, everybody. We're going to go eat something. I'm getting hungry. Carry on. Oh, wait. Somebody asked a question here. What was your favorite hors d'oeuvres from the 70s, 80s? Are you a Vienna sausage guy? I would eat them because, I mean, you know, who doesn't like that? You know, pigs in a blanket, they used to call it, you know. But no, we had all kinds of hors d'oeuvres there. I don't remember all the hors d'oeuvres we had. We had a caterer there that was pretty good, that was putting out the goodies, and it was good. Yeah, we ate well in those days. I still eat well, but I don't eat as much of the rich, fattening stuff as I used to when I was young. When you're young, you can get away with all that stuff. Can't get away with as much now. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, if you're not subscribed, click the little bell. Thanks.